Hello and welcome to the show. Thank you so much for taking the time to share your story. We'll let you go ahead whenever you're ready.
So, to kind of take you back to the time and place, I was 14 years old, and we were in a city called Redding, or just north of the city of Redding. This is in Northern California. And so, where we were is in kind of, you might say, it's a rural setting. And it's well known that there is a well guarded National Guard armory in very near to that location. So bear in mind all that. So my friend and I were sitting out on his front porch as we normally do. Having discussion, smoking cigarettes. We were underage, but we were into that sort of thing. And this is about 12 midnight. This occurrence began. So the two of us at the same time we acknowledged that there was something kind of happening. It was unusual above us in the sky. And we couldn't quite make it out. I don't remember which of us said, "Do you see that?" And we both looked up. And in that moment, you could see a very clear, starry sky, starry night sky. And over the next, several seconds, perhaps, this bright white light, as best I can describe it, began to apparently envelop the canopy above us, right? The sky like a dome at first. And then this light seemed to extend down to us. And over whatever period of time this happened, when I looked over to my friend, and presumably he looked over at me, we realized that we were now both completely enveloped in this light. We could not see each other or our hands in front of our faces or anything. And this seemed like it only happened maybe in a matter of 30 seconds. And then the light simply vanished. And the two of us were left sitting there, literally just staring at each other. And we both returned our eyes to the night sky and saw that now the sun was beginning to come up on the horizon. And so this now sparked up, much discussion between us. So my friend, who's no longer with us, but was raised in a religion, believed that we had both had a spiritual experience. And for myself, I believed that it was some type of paranormal experience, maybe related to extraterrestrials, or that it had something to do with the government installations and things they were doing there near to our location. So we've never gotten any type of adequate answer for what we experienced, and to this day, I can't account for maybe 6 hours or more of my life when I was apparently completely conscious and lucid. And so, with the proper skepticism applied, I still have to say that what we experienced that night sticks out to me as something that was completely out of this world and unexplainable, and that will always stick with me until I get an answer.
It's interesting how both you and your friend, despite having the same experience, have different ideas of what the light could have been.
Yeah, and I guess to kind of give more context to that, that was in the nature of our relationship to discuss uh, theology and things like that, his belief in God and my lack thereof, and we would always try to convince each other. And so that experience kind of really solidified that relationship even further, because we now have this shared experience with a different perspective about what might have occurred, and it just opened up even more channels for dialogue and inquiry.
Okay, and by any chance, were you under any influence of a certain substance while you two were out there?
Yes, so we were habitual pot smokers, as much as a 14-year-old is at that stage. So there was some of that involved. There wasn't any other type of substance or anything like that, and so when the question arises, well, you think you might have been hallucinating? Well, I guess it could be a possibility that both I and my friend had the same exact hallucination at the same moment, et cetera, et cetera. Uh, However, I would have to compare that to any of my other, countless experiences with marijuana and being in the same place and situation and all of that good thing, and say that there's absolutely no equivalent experience, no precedent, nothing that happened prior or since, other than my bias towards believing that there are probably extraterrestrials out there amongst us in the universe. So I am biased in that sense, for certain. Um, as far as whether it might have been a hallucination, I have to say, sure, that's a possibility, but I don't believe that's the case.
Subscribe for more content. And if you enjoy scary stories like these, click on the thumbnails next to the icon. And thanks for watching.